Good morning, fourth graders. This is Mr. Sherwin. We're back in math class, and we're going to be switching things up a little bit here today. We're going to start our fraction unit, and to start off each day that we have math class, I want to talk to you about shapes and about 2D shapes and about attributes and classification or classifying things. Okay, so first of all, I want to get down the definition for a classification. So classification will be, attributes are something you can say it has, such as size and color. You know, for example, if I show you this pencil, right? There's attributes to this pencil. This pencil is yellow with green writing. Those are attributes. So you see here it says attributes, something you can say it has, such as size or color. All right, I can say this is about, I don't know, maybe 8 inches long. It has a pink eraser. Those are all attributes, okay? It also has like a hexagonal shape. I don't know if you look at it straight on here. Let me get it straight up. You can see that, and when you feel a pencil, you know that it's got 6 sides, all right? And I believe that's for when you put it down, it doesn't roll away. It finds its way to, a flat surface, okay? So those are attributes. So an example attributes of a dog, it might be its height, speed, and color, how fast it could go, all right? So we talk about attributes of a shape. We can talk about how many sides does it have? How many, is it straight sides? Does it have right angles? Does it have perpendicular lines? Does it have parallel lines? So attributes are things that a shape would have, all right? So we're gonna do attributes of shapes. Okay, next is classify. To classify means to arrange in groups by some property, okay? So a property is an attribute. So if I look here, this is yellow, I could put this all with yellow things. Like I could put this with together with this yellow thing, right? And then I could also put it together with this yellow softball, all right? So if I wanted to, I could group these all by things that are yellow. But if I chose to do them by things that are long and round, well, these are long and round, and the softball is just round. It's not really long, right? So I would have to separate them, okay? So classifying means to put in groups. Here's an example. Down here it says, these shapes are classified by the number of sides. And you can see here, these are triangles. Over here is 4-sided figures, quadrilaterals. And over here is 5-sided figures, pentagons, okay? So I could have also sorted these by color, right? And put them into different groups, classify them that way, okay? So classifying or sorting them out in certain ways, okay? So that's what we're talking about attributes of a shape and classification, all right? So if I were to show you this shape right here, why don't you take a moment, and this shape right here is highlighted in yellow. So why don't you take a moment and pause the video and discuss as a class the attributes of this shape, all right? Come back in about, I don't know, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, all right? So pause. All right, well, I hope that you had some good discussions, on our rectangle here. So if we take a look here, and that's what it's called a rectangle. So what are some attributes of this rectangle? Now, some of you might have said, well, it's a 4-sided figure, right? And the official term for that was what? Quadrilateral, right? Quadrilateral. So some of you might say, that's a quadrilateral. That's right. It's good. Some of you might have said it has 4 sides. That's great. You're right. So quadrilateral is a 4-sided figure, okay? And it's closed. There's no openings, right? Some of you might have said, well, there's 4 right angles, right? Might have said 4 right angles. And you'd be correct, right? Those angles here in a rectangle are 90-degree angles. So I might have said, well, there are 4 right angles. And that's right, okay? Some other people might have said, all right, well, opposite sides, see this? Opposite sides are what? Parallel. So opposite sides, 2 P's, opposite sides are parallel. I'm off the page. And this is a really thick okay? So not only that, it's got two sets of parallel sides, right? Two sets of parallel sides. Some sides only have one. So when you look at these shapes, starting off in math class from now on, we're going to try to find ways to, attributes of these shapes, and really dig into it. Things that you know, like we want to really point out these angles, these right angles, 90-degree angles, opposite sides are parallel, how many sides there are. Are there perpendicular lines? Like these, since they're right angles, there's perpendicular lines here, okay? We want to use that math vocabulary that we're so used to using here in the past couple weeks, all right? So that is kind of a warm-up activity we're going to do every day, all right? So hang tight, we'll be right back with our exit ticket.